So with the trailer for 28 Years Later just coming out, it kind of reminded me of the original films. It made me want to rewatch them, see if they were still worth watching and if they hold up to today's standards. And let me tell you, short answer is yes, they're good. So the first movie, 28 Days Later, which came out in 2002, is considered a modern classic for zombie movies, for many good reasons. First reason is they basically invented fast zombies. Like, these guys are ruthless. They are so fast. You do not want one of these chasing you. And the infection in this film happens in seconds. When somebody gets infected, you have maybe 30 seconds tops from when they go from human to zombie. And that is scary. Like, zombies are already scary, but they weren't necessarily terrifying. They were kind of slow. You could usually get away from them up to this point. This movie says, nope, not only are the actual zombies super scary, but you can get infected easily, and there's a couple scenes when somebody does get infected that's just like straight up terrifying. You see it in the human's face, and you see it in the human who's about to turn into a zombie, just terrifying. And the human element of this film, the characters that we follow, are actually done pretty well. Our main guy, Jim, who's played by Cillian Murphy, teams up with a woman, a father, and a daughter, and they're just trying to survive the apocalypse. And every character is well acted. They're not amazing, but it is well acted. There's not a bad egg in here. And this film does add a little twist that I'm not going to spoil just in case you haven't seen it. Now, there is a lot of good, but I am willing to admit, maybe it's just because I've seen so many zombie movies and played so many zombie games that this film feels extremely formulaic, especially in the world of zombies. Guy wakes up during the apocalypse. In his medical gown, he has to go find survivors. They have to band together. They gotta kill their friends because they turn into zombies. They gotta go escape the city, etc., etc. It just feels like every other zombie movie, but the film separates itself with good characters and crazy zombies. And if you're a fan of zombies in general and you haven't seen this one, you gotta go check it out. Now moving on to the not as good, but still good sequel, 28 Weeks Later. 28 Weeks Later came out about 5 years after the original, and it feels a little different. It's got a bigger budget, you've got bigger name actors like Jeremy Renner and Idris Elba, and this movie loses some of the lower budget indie vibes. It loses a little of the heart and the soul that the first film had. Still maintains some of the horror elements, and still maintains the crazy, scary zombies that the first film basically invented. But it just feels a little more, I don't know, Hollywood. And even the story, it's not quite as good. So the basic premise is that the outbreak is over, all the zombies have died off, and they're now re-inviting citizens back into the city to kind of restart life. And that's actually my favorite part of the movie. What would life be like if they tried to rebuild, if they tried to restart society? Like, what would that actually look like? What are the steps they have to take? And this film does explore that, and I do really appreciate that. But this film kind of falls, in my opinion, because it revolves around these two kids, the sister and a brother. They escape the city to go find their mom. The brother finds the mom, doesn't realize she's infected. They bring her back to the city. Guess what? She infects the whole fucking city, and thousands of people die. And guess what? It could have been easily stopped. I think that's the problem with this movie. Early on, they're like, why are we letting kids into the city? We can't let kids in yet. Like, somebody says that, and it's like, yeah, that's smart, don't let kids in. Because guess what happens? This kid infects everybody and kills everybody. So it's just kind of dumb. That plot I don't really like. I guess you need a reason to start another outbreak, sure. And you need a reason to fire a bunch of guns and have a cool sniper scene and have all these crazy zombies come your way. Like, I get it, but that doesn't mean it's good. But don't think that this is a bad movie. It's still very entertaining. They keep the heart of the actual zombies. They're still ruthless and vicious. And there's a couple scenes in this movie also where you see outbreaks happening. You see people just scared out of their minds. Like, this one deals with much bigger crowds. And that is, seeing just people turn and freak out and go primal is very scary and done pretty well in this movie. So yeah, I would say definitely check out 28 Days Later. 28 Weeks, you don't need to watch it, but if you like the first one, definitely give this one a watch. It doesn't directly continue any of the characters or story, which is, it is what it is. But it is still in the same universe and handled pretty well. Let me know what you guys thought of the films. Let me know if you're excited for 28 Years Later. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later.